everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Zizi Waters, and for those of you that are watching me for the first time, hi, welcome. Stick around. Oh my gosh, guys, excuse me if I can't even laugh. If I talk a bit funny and weird, and if my mouth looks a bit whack, I went to the dentist today. Oh my gosh, I have stitches all up there, people. It's so annoying, it's so uncomfortable, so painful. I just hate the dentist so much. I know people are oh yeah, I despise the dentist. It's my worst fear to go there. This is why my teeth are jacked up, because I never go there. And now I feel like I'm gonna live there, because tomorrow I have to go back. And it's bad enough to go to the dentist in your own home country. Now just imagine in a foreign country where people don't understand you. Literally, the lady was talking to me, explaining, I guess she was explaining what I have to do or something. And I was like, also, I guess Then I came back home and I was like, as I Google, who's there? I get all you were saying, girl. I do. No, I don't. But anyway, that is not what we're here to talk about today. It's not. I feel like we should though someday. I'm here to talk about my year of teaching and how that was. And how that went. That is what we're here to talk about. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so let me just start off with saying that teaching was an experience, and I think for the most part it was a good experience. Certain stuff made it a bit challenging and a bit of a stress and a bit of anxiety, certain stuff which I will explain in this video. But all in all, it was a good experience, which is why I'm doing it again. It wasn't too hectic, and what was expected of me wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. So yeah. With that being said, I teach at two schools. I have a main school and then I have a second school. And my main school is deep in the farms. So in order to get there, I have to go with the school bus. And because basically with my program, I'm only supposed to teach 15 hours. Those are my working hours. And some people that happens for them, but for me, because of my school being where it's located, I feel like I'm a full-time teacher anyway, because I have to leave with the school bus and I have to come back with the school bus. So it's I have to get there at 9 a.m. and then I leave at 4 p.m. So it's I feel like I'm basically a full-time teacher. But luckily, on days when I go to my other school, because it's more in the city, well, not in the city, but closer to town, the bus does get there, the regular bus. And so I'm there less than I am at my main school, but it's basics the same thing. Except for Thursday, where it was just 2 hours, 3 hours at school, then I could bounce on a Wednesday. But I just looked at my timetable this year and that's not happening anymore. Wednesdays was the only day I could be happy, guys, and that was taken away from me. I'm not mad. I'm not sad. I'm okay. But anyway, okay, because I teach at two schools, I get two totally different experiences when it comes to this job, and when it comes to kids, and when it comes to staff members. Actually, the people that I work with, they totally different at both schools. It kind of would change a lot during the year. In my the first half of the year, I really liked my main school's kids, and the staff were a bit, because they were a bit too shy to speak English, so it was a bit orcs at first. And so I kind of liked my main school's kids, and then I liked my second school's like staff, and then the kids not so much. I'll explain that later. So it kind of would shift like that throughout the year, but then at one point in the year, then it was like I just liked my main school altogether, and the second school kind of bothered my life. And I was like, why do I have two schools? Can't I just have one school like everybody else? Well, most people. But let's talk more about the teaching part. Obviously, I didn't study teaching. So when I came into this, it was just like a, woo, we'll see when you get there kind of a thing. Like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know how I'm going to be as this. Let's just take it as it comes. And so, most of the time, I won't lie, I felt like I don't know what I was doing. And I felt like my purpose there was kind of, I didn't feel like I needed to be there at times. Because I felt like I just didn't know what I was doing, and like nobody was giving me feedback. Like nobody was like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do it that way, you need to do it this way. It was more of a like, oh, do as you please kind of a thing. And it was like, they have these open classes though, where they come and they kind of like rate your teaching, I think. And that's the most annoying thing, where like it's the most scariest and annoying day ever when you have an open class, because you either get parents or the principal, the vice principal, and other teachers coming to like, come like mark you, or like, and like watch your teaching. And it's like the worst thing ever, because it's just like you look at those rascals and you're like, you better be good today, like you best be on your best behavior today. So what I'll do before those classes, that I'll kind of do a preview of the lesson I want to do for the open class, and I'll let them like, so I kind of like I wouldn't tell them. I would just do kind of like a lesson like that, and then like when the open class came, I would do that exact lesson, so that the kids look smart to their parents and to the principal, and I look like I know what I'm doing. Everybody wins, okay? The parents are happy that their kids are smart. I'm happy that you think I'm doing a good job. The hardest thing for teaching with me was like, class management is a hard thing to do when you don't speak the language. And try shouting in Korean, the kids are just like, what are you doing? Try shouting in English, the kids are just like, we don't understand. So it was like really hard for them. Also, guys, I'm just not scary. Like I really am not scary in any shape or form. I cannot shout even. Like I'm that person that just simply can't shout. So asking them to just calm down and to work and to just focus was a really hard thing for me to do. Also because the kids look at me and they just like, you look 12, honey. Why are we listening to someone that looks 12? Literally, that's how they looked at me, because I don't know why. So even some kids would literally call me sister instead of teacher. That was like my main school's kids, but I liked them, so it's like I wasn't bothered much about it. But that's my problem. I was really too nice. And I think that's what I need to learn this year. It's like, I am a teacher. I do want them to like me, but like the most important thing is that I'm here to teach them, and that I'm not just here to like have a big party with them. And I think that's what it was the most time. Like they will always get so excited to see me, thinking we're gonna just watch movies, we're gonna play games. I was known as game teacher, because in curriculum classes where I co-teach with my co-teachers, they always just ask me to prepare the game. So they'll tell me like what lesson the kids are doing in the book, and then they'll be like, prepare a lesson that pertains to that lesson. So obviously when it was my turn, the kids always knew it's game time. So now the problem that came with that is that after school, I'm alone. I solo teach. I don't have the Korean teacher, English teacher with me. So then they come thinking we're just going to play games for the entire 40 minutes. And I'm like, no, that's not the case. We're going to work. Do y'all understand? They never understood. Oh. But what I can appreciate with my main school is that they were excited for me and English. So they were excited to learn, and they were excited to come to my class and to just like engage with English. I really appreciated that they were willing to engage with the language more than my second school's kids, students. My main school's students were really, really tried to get a hold of the language, and they weren't afraid to try. Whereas, dear God, my second school's students, kids are really different, guys. Like, what would work for my main school did not work for my second school, like almost always. Like, it was fairly easy to teach my main school students than my second school students. They had some attitude to them that I just did not understand. I could not get through it. And it's like, it's one thing if they were like showing that disregard for English to me, then I'll be like, oh, they just don't like me, I guess, or like, you know, they just too afraid of me or something. But it wasn't that. They just did not enjoy English or anything concerning English. They didn't even show respect to the Korean English teacher. So like, what am I if they don't even show respect to a Korean teacher? And so that was hard when it was after school classes and she's not there at all. Because then it was just like playtime for them. It was just, I had kids walk out of my class. They would literally just walk out of my class. Not even like grown as kids, like third graders. A third grader would literally just always walk out of my class when like he didn't get his way. And then I'd be like, boy. Legit. I would literally wave and go, see ya. Like, I don't have the time. Because like, if I shout in Korean, nobody takes me seriously. If I shout in English, nobody understands. And when I tell my teacher, my co-teacher, because she'd be in the next room, like really helping students who really need extra English, she would be busy with her own things, and she would tell me to shout at them. And I'm like, listen, the way she shouted at them, I can't shout at them. Like, I honestly cannot. And so, when the little third grader would just walk out, I'll just be like, see you next time if you feel like coming. Okay, bye. Like, I just wouldn't do anything about it. And sometimes that would be really stressful. Like, I was honestly always stressed going to my second school because I just knew that, and the kids there are so loud. Dear God, they're so loud. And in the most annoying way possible. Like, just so disruptive, so loud, like screeching at the top of their lungs, like screeching like you're gonna hurt yourself kind of way. I'm like shaking thinking of going back there. Like, I'm literally shaking. I'm just like, I'm fine with teaching at one school. I'm fine with the normal salary. So yeah, that's the problem. It's just like having to navigate two completely different like schools and like their kids' attitudes, and seeing what works for these students and what works for those students. That was really hard for me, also because like I said, I didn't study this. This is not what I'm particularly skilled in, being a teacher. And now facing those challenges where I have to deal with students that don't want to learn the language, are not interested in the language, are not interested in hearing anything about it, and just like want to just faff around and scream all the time. It's like, how the heck do I control that? I'm not just here to just like take this job and just do it just because I can stay in this country and get paid well. No, I really want these kids to be able to use English one day, or just get a liking for it so that they can study it further when they get to higher grades and it gets more complicated. So for me, it was just like, I didn't want these kids to get the raw end of the stick. I really didn't want them to like be the ones that I'm the one that didn't give them my best in order for them to succeed with the language. So that would really stress me out, because I definitely wanted them to succeed, and I wanted them in the end to like this language, to further grow their ability in it, and want to grow their ability and not feel like it's forced down their throats. Because I see a lot of these students just hate English because they feel like it's forced down their throats. So I wanted like English to be something that they choose. Why do I sound like this right now? Why did my voice go so deep and hoarse? I mean, it's not like I hate it, but that's not how I sound. Oh gosh. Anyway, yeah, so that was really hard for me. But then I started being more okay with that, and like easing my mind when I was like, okay, maybe like, sure, they're not being like masters at this language because of me, but you know what? They're becoming better people. And what I mean when I say that is like, they're beginning to know how to treat someone that is not Asian, that is not from their country, that's a foreigner that looks completely different from them. Because when I first came, obviously these kids were all shocked. Some were blatantly afraid, like some were just like save, they look on their faces, just look like they were saying, save me Jesus, a monster just arrived. And like going from that to those exact same kids wanting to sit on the bus with me, wanting to talk to me, wanting to spend all their free time with me, made me realize, oh, my purpose might not just be to teach these kids English, but also to teach them how to treat people right, how to treat people that aren't Korean, and how to just be better people, and realize that foreigners aren't scary people. They're people just like you that come from different countries, that's all. And I really liked to see that change in them, and that really made me like feel better about my situation, and made me feel more comfortable that I'm glad that they're learning something from me. It might not be English all the time, but that they're also learning just how to be better people in generally in life. Because I can remember this one specific girl, and I would never forget her. Like when she came later than everybody else in the school year, she was the last kid to arrive, and she came like really at the end of the year, honestly. And so all of the other students were used to me, and all of the students liked me. And so when I was getting on the bus to go to school, she was sitting next to another second grader who already obviously knew me. And the second grader who knew me, she got so excited to see me, so she greets me, and I greet her back, obviously with the same excitement, I hope. And the other little girl who was new was so shocked, as in like the face of like, you just greeted her? Like, aren't you afraid? How are you smiling? Why are you smiling? Like, she literally looked confused and shocked and scared when I walked onto the bus. And when her friend greeted me, she just did not understand what was happening. And then throughout the day, she saw all the other kids treat me the same way the girl she was sitting on the bus with did. That at the end of the day, as we were going back on the bus, she ran up to me and she was like, hello. And I was like, hello. And she was so happy. And it was such a stark difference from the first thing in the morning when she saw me to like the end of the day. Such a different response to me. And that really touched me. That I was really touched that day. I was like, this is so cute. This is so beautiful. And if this is all I'm here to do, then I am so glad. Like, she is now my favorite little girl. From where we started till now, huge difference. And like, I really appreciate that. Like, more than anything in my life, I really like connecting to people, and I really like making other people feel good in my presence. And I never ever wanted the kids or anyone, even the staff, to be uncomfortable around me. That's like one thing I really was afraid of, and I didn't want to happen. I didn't want anyone to feel weighed by like the thought of my presence being there. I didn't want them to feel like that. And so I tried my best to connect with everyone as good as possible. So yeah, so that was my teaching experience. All in all, in a nutshell, like, my teaching experience was good. At times it was hard as expected. At times I felt like I had no purpose being there. At times I felt like, you know, I was doing absolutely nothing. But like, really the way the kids, especially at my main school, were treating me, and just like how I got along with them and like stuff, I really appreciated my time there. That made me want to do it again, and do it again at that specific school and in my specific town, because I really did grow to like love all the people there. And the staff at my main school did really grow on me, and especially my vice principal. She's the cutest little thing. She always tried to speak English with me. She did try. She really did try. And so I really did appreciate that. Yeah, and so yeah, I'm gonna do it one last time with them, and hopefully this year is better. Hopefully it's not worse. I hope it's better than last year, and that I leave them on a good note. I don't want them to have a horrible memory of me. I want them to have a good memory of me. So I hope this year is a good year for me at my schools, and that yeah, I can grow more, and that I can reach the goals I would like to reach with the kids this year with English, and just like start on a strict note from the beginning. I don't want to be just like fun teacher Now I want to be teacher and not just fun teacher. I want to be a teacher that they can also learn to respect as a teacher and not just as their sister. So yeah, that was my school year. I mean, my teaching experience. And yeah, for other people, obviously it's different. Some people have it harder, some people have it easier. So it all depends on just like how yours, like how you are, your personality, how your students are, the staff that you work with. Like it all depends on all of that. Like I said, like my schools are not that far from each other, even though like one is more in town, but the kids are a huge difference. So it honestly depends. And like your kids, your students will make your teaching experience. They'll make it or break it. Like I'm totally being honest. If you have the worst kids, it's gonna suck. Like if I was at my second school all the time, I probably would have not renewed. I probably would never be able to spend more than just 2 days with those kids. I don't think I could ever do that. So I'm grateful that I just go there twice a week. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share the video. If you have any thoughts or fears about teaching, you can write them down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to click on that bell to get notified every time I upload a new video, please. And yeah, don't forget to love yourself, and most importantly, the others around you. Bye.